Welcome to Laguna Seca Raceway. For this race we're going to be using the Peugeot 308 and see how that performs. I've not driven this car yet, so I've thrown on a quick tune that I know sort of works quite well for my level of driving. Obviously a lot of fine tuning is needed. We're going to be using medium tyres because we are at a medium length race, so 2 sets of mediums should happily cover us for the 10 laps we are at Laguna. But this race does come with an unusual twist. I was witness to a little bit of carnage, and it intrigued my mind of how did this come about, but more on that later on. Let's get on to the racing. Now, I have not qualified for this race. We're going to be starting in position 9, right next to Zeus Cloud with gimp legs. it's already starting. Coming down here, everybody moves over to the left hand side, closing the door a little bit, but the Peugeot is not exactly the fastest in the straight line anyway. A little bit of bumping going on, quite a bit of bumping from the Audi behind, as they forgot what a brake pedal is straight into the back of me. First corner shenanigans as always, but lucky enough we all survived. A little bit more contact there, MG slips up the inside, more contact all around, and now we're starting to stretch out a little bit. I have lost 2 places sort of. I'm back to where I started, but I gained 2 places before that. Never mind, it is what it is. We can start making back time as the handling of this car should outdo everything else is going on. The car went off in the rearview mirror and these two start battling each other, not giving each other space, slowing us all down really. MG cuts the corner and goes off track. I move over to the left hand side because 9 times out of 10 when you come back on from that corner you end up yeeting it straight across the track, and there's no way I'm being taken out. Thankfully that did not occur. Cutting the corner a little bit too much, following the Audi and not being as precise as I should be, giving me a 0.2 second penalty. Lucky, because that corner usually gives a lot more. Anyway, slowing down in this corner, 3rd gear, coasting it round. You can see I could have gone through there a lot faster, thus taking up more of the track. But I've got to say, this car handles ever so well. It's unusual really, because I've come from the Astra that likes to have its tail out. And this car, when it does kick its tail out, it's not happy with it and straightens itself back up. It's got that much grip. It straightens itself back up and then you're like, oh, mid-corner, because it throws the front out of line as well. But I think a lot of that could also be down to the way I've tuned the car. So obviously different mileage may vary, as well as I could go back and revise the tune, little changes here and there to make it more suitable. I'm not saying my tune's the best anyway whatsoever, but you know, it works for me. Anyway, losing a bit of time from the car in front. They do have a 2.25 second penalty, so that's that position gain, as long as I can keep up with the car in front. Coming through this corner about 75 miles per hour to the right hand side, flat out up this hill, looking at the 200 meter marker, dab of the brakes down to about 90 there, cutting the corner a little bit. Watch out for that curb. As you can see, it really did upset the Peugeot when the rear tyres went over it. Up the hill we go, dab of the brakes, down to 2nd gear and turning in. Had a little bit of a lock up there, but luckily enough we didn't go straight on for a change. Now the 2 cars in front are going to be making that position. I'm actually quite happy to be sat behind the Audi up in front, because they're quite elbows out driver it seems to be, and if they can push their way through, it means I can follow really. That's what I'm looking for anyway. As long as I can keep up with them, I've already gained that position on them anyway. As we're crossing over the start of lap 3, we have set a alright time of a 1:33.146. There is time to be made, but we are keeping up with the pack up in front. Breaking down the 2nd gear as we go through this corner, keeping it as close to the apex as you can. That's the line I take. Coming out the other side, back over to the left into 3rd gear, dab of the brakes, get the weight on the nose, come through this corner and out the other side, keep to your left hand side and let off the throttle, let it coast into the corner, and then as soon as you come out, full throttle, send it up the inside. Door was nearly closed, but I'm threading that needle and through we go. That's another position gain. Thank you very well, 2 position gains overall. Thank you very much guys for that little bit of battling. Looks like in behind us 3 abreast going through. Keep an eye on that mirror right now. It's going to be entertaining. The MG's backed out and yeah, it's just it looks like a good party back there, let's be quite honest. Braking at the top of the hill, locking up again because I'm getting distracted by what's going on in the mirror, and going through the corkscrew and out the other side. Down the hill in third gear, let it coast round into this corner. As soon as you hit the curb on the left hand side, start accelerating out, bring it back over to your left, dab at the brakes, hit the curb on the right hand side, accelerate out the corner, come back over to your right hand side, looking out for the 200-meter board, hard on the brakes down in second gear, and clip the apex, and out the other side we go. We are going to set a better lap time this time around. We're going to be setting a 1:32.404. That's not too bad, really. I think the qualifying lap time only did a 1:30, so yeah, considering this car's got nerfed so much in power that it is pretty slow, and it does shine on this track, really, thanks to the high-speed corners. You can really throw this car in, and it handles exceptionally well. Right, we got to catch up to P3, which is Gimp Legs, with a 0.5 second penalty. They are 5 seconds ahead, which is a lot of time to find, but we do have 6 laps to do it in. As we come out of the pits on the other side, the start of lap 6, I'd like to take a moment to thank our channel members, which is Andy Good, Jeffrey Anderson, DMC Motorsport, and Phoenix Aster. Thank you all for supporting the channel, and if you're enjoying what you're seeing here as well, why not hit that subscribe button. Gimp Legs is 4 seconds away. It is quite a gap to find, but STYBBB is still 2.1 seconds behind, which is more important to me than catching up to the car in front. Rather keep away from any elbowing that may incur. Braking at the top of the hill, down in second gear, turning in, and through the screw we go, clipping that corner on the right hand side. I probably could have done with raising the suspension a little bit, because sometimes when I went into the dip, it really did bottom out the car. So maybe raising the suspension could have made it a little bit more stable. What is going on here? So this is where I got curious, because the Audi destroyed the link and pushed them off track, and I was not a party to what happened there, and it intrigued my curiosity, and it turns out to be a lot more intense than I would have ever expected. And I've got to say, that person may be the angriest driver I have come across yet, but more on that in a minute. As you come around this corner, clipping the curb on the right hand side, driving out to the outer curb, keep away from the outer curb, the sand can really upset the car, cutting this corner as much as you can, accelerating out the other side, and then bringing it back over to your right hand side. Looking out for the 200-meter board, dabbing the brakes down to about 75 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour, clipping the curb on the left hand side, accelerating out of the corner to the outer part, and up the hill we go. As you get under the bridge, looking out for the 200-meter marker, dabbing the brakes down to about 90 miles per hour, clipping the curb on the left, and could have probably done it a little bit faster, and up the hill we go. It's really, this car handles that well. I know I've said it quite a few times, but it really threw me off at how much it really does stick to the road. It is absolutely brilliant. It's just a shame it's a little bit down on power, so if you're looking for a handling car that's really good and you're not driven a Peugeot, give it a try. Honestly, I can't recommend it enough for cornering ability. It is absolutely planted. Braking at a 200-meter board, down a second gear, turning in, and coming out the other side. Over the curb I go, maximising the track width as much as I can, and luckily enough, not upsetting the penalty system. They do get a little bit of space before you get to the end of the curb. Braking just as the cones start, down a second gear, turning in, and rubbing the apex on the left hand side. Still have a 4.4 second gap from Gimp Legs up in front. And I started running off my pace a little bit towards the end of the race. You can see Gimp Legs up in front right now. I was just a little bit off. I couldn't get back into the rhythm. I don't know what happened. I was making silly little mistakes, just like there, going too early, not enough power, and basically slowed myself down a few tenths a lap. I knew by 2 laps, unless Gimp Legs made a massive mistake, I wasn't going to be making up that time. And position 1, Nicky Y4123, is in a Hyundai, and clipping that curb again and sends the car out. Nicky is in a Hyundai, and to be fair, that thing is a absolute power monster compared to the Peugeot. So really, I'm more preserving my position right now and staying in P3 because I got the podium. I mean, I can't grumble at that. Absolutely brilliant with only a 0.2 second penalty. I mean, yeah, it'd be great if I also got P2 as well, but I'm on the stand and I started in position 9, so it's better than I expected as overall. Breaking down the second gear, turning in, over the curb we go, and maximising those track limits again. As we're about to start our final lap, Gimp Legs is 6.1 seconds away in front, and STYBBB is 2.3 seconds away from us right now. So, like I say, those few attempts I'm losing by being off pace and just not concentrating enough and doing better has cost me 2 seconds in 2 laps, which is absolutely astounding. But we did do a better best lap. We did set a 1:31.623. But yeah, there was definitely improvements to be made on my part for the terrible driving. We all have off days. Braking at a 200 meter board down his third gear, clipping the curb on the left hand side, accelerating out of the corner. Up the hill we go. We can see the tyres are on their last legs. Coming up the hill, 200 meter marker, dab of the brakes, clip the curb on the left hand side, accelerating out the corner. Someone's had some fun with the sign there and put it out into the middle of the road. Now there's 3 cars in front, so we may be lapping some people. Anyway, through the corkscrew, a little bit slippy through there and out the other side. Front tyres are now on minor wear, but luckily enough we are at the end of this race. Coming through here, dab of the brakes, diving in and using the banking of that corner to help you rotate. 200 meter marker, dab on the brakes, turning in, accelerating out the other side. Absolutely brilliant race, absolutely brilliant car. Position 3 overall, and I can't not grumble at that. That is absolutely brilliant. I quite like my new livery. Anyway, on to the moment you've all been absolutely dying to see. Coming around this corner now, the angriest driver in Forza Motorsport starts to lose their cool. This is the first lap, coming up to the last corner. Audi turns in and gets a little bit of a love tap from the green Lavorg behind. As you can see, we all got through there. I don't know whether they were a bit uncomfortable going through that corner, a bit slow, or whatever reason, because in all fairness, they set a qualifying time. They were quite good at qualifying. And I wasn't a party to the practice session. I very rarely join the practice sessions, so I don't know if anything occurred there. Coming to the end of this lap, the Audi did catch up to the Lavorg up in front, goes to the right hand side and rubs the car on the left. Now, I don't know if I would say the car on the left is at fault for that, or the Audi is for that last second dive on the curb, but either way, the Audi driver didn't take it all too well. I think that, you know, we all have bad days, but this was really something else. I don't know how to, I've never seen this in my life. I've seen people get taken out and rammed off the track. You know, they picked up that one car, but not, this is several cars in this race that got absolutely wrecked. You see the Audi is slowing down the Lavorg behind, going quite slow through these corners, really not taking the lines correctly, and really being slow overall and blocking the Lavorg behind. Gonna go fast forward in a little bit here as we come up the hill to the right hand side, 200 meter ball, clip the curb, going into the sand, looking for castles. And here comes the entertainment. Coming into the corkscrew, the Lavorg sends it up the inside, bangs him some more, and he just loses his cool and plants the Lavorg into the wall. That is one car down. There are many more victims to go. And surprisingly, those victims wasn't far away. As they're coming down into this corner now, I'm not too sure how this person became a victim, but we're coming across now and they slam him into the wall. That's number 2. Number 3 is on their way. We had a few laps go past and nothing happened. The Lavorg, that green one, went past. The person didn't react. But as we're coming up to the corkscrew now, going very slow, a car nudges them from behind. They were going very slow up the hill and into the corkscrew. The car behind lets them get back on track. They slam this car into the wall. Doesn't pay off. The link carries on like nothing's about. I'm not going to be part of that game. This person had different ideas. sends a link straight off to the track. But it doesn't end there, which I was really even more surprised. You see the MG's gone through, the link is going through, and they take them off some more and literally drive them straight off the track. Like, seriously, you know, if you're that angry, just, you know, walk away, have a drink, or go to the bathroom, do something. But you can't sit there and be that rageful that you're literally taking and waiting for people to take them out. Fast forwarding a little bit more, but not too far, surprisingly. They're waiting for another car to go past. There's a link on their way, not a problem. And over the curb we go. MG tries to make a move, and then they push the MG off the track. Yeah, I have no idea why the MG is also being dragged into this, but yeah, honestly, I watched the whole replay, and half of these cars just, you know, I'm so glad I wasn't dragged into all of this. But the MG did get their own back. Absolutely great bit of karma right there, on your own, buddy. And it's not good when the shoe's on the other foot, I guess. But that was it overall. Thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. Goodbye.